Just found out something terrible about me and my mom. No idea what I'm gonna do. Have never done this before, so bear with me. I've been locked in my room for 2 hours now since everything happened. My mom and I have a great relationship. I don't mean to brag, but she's been the best mom I could ever have wished for. Better than all of my friends' moms, too. My dad and younger brothers are great too. My home life has always been, well, normal. Today, I heard something I'm not sure I can take in. I went to visit my grandparents. They live about 5 minutes from us and have always had an open door policy. They're getting a bit deaf, so it was normal to just walk in and shout when you got near the living room door. My granddad was talking quite loudly to my grandmother about me. About how traumatic everything was before and after I was born. More fool me, but I listened. Basically, my dad is not my dad. My mother was raped, and I'm the result. I'm crying even as I write this. I didn't wait around and took off home. I'm upstairs in my room right now. My mom knows something's up and has been at my door 4 times now to ask me what's wrong. I don't know what to do. I can't stop shivering and crying. I want to ask her, but I don't either. I really, really wish this is a joke. Help me. What can I say to her? How can I bring this up? She knows something is wrong. Quick update, sorry for being quiet. I'm struggling to deal with this, to be honest, but my dad is here now. He popped up with a couple of bars of chocolate and painkillers. I get bad period pains, so Mom was worried that's why I was hiding. I've asked him if we can go somewhere away from the house to talk. Just leaving now, thanks, everyone. I'll let you know how it goes. Update 1, thanks for all the comments and stuff. You've really helped, even if it was just helping me pull my thoughts together. This is going to be my last post, as I've got a lot to deal with, but at least I've got my parents to help me. My dad took me out to a small park not far from our home to talk. I burst out crying when I tried to tell him what I heard. He just about heard me say that I knew about the grape and everything before I collapsed into a sobbing mess. He just held me and told me it was all right. When I had pulled myself together, he asked me how much I knew, so I told him. Dad took us back home and sent me into the dining room while he got Mom. He told her what this was all about before she came in, so she was well prepared for the crying fit I had the minute I saw her. I was way more upset about it all than she was. She just wanted to make sure I was all right. I know some posters were right in saying that it didn't happen to me, so I shouldn't be too upset, but it happened to my mom. I can't stop crying when I think of that. We talked, and there is so much more to my family's history than I ever thought. My mom was married before she met my dad. She was too young, like 18. And my grandparents didn't approve. This man, I'm going to refer to him as B, was a bit older and, soon afterward, moved them to a fairly well-known city that I won't name. B became incredibly controlling and abusive toward her, which explains a lot, really. She's really protective of me when it comes to boyfriends. The marriage started falling apart after about a year, and she planned on leaving him by going home. When she told him that it was over, B beat her black and blue and raped her in their flat. I admit I got really choked up at that part, but my mom was like a rock. I've never seen her so calm and reassuring, which makes me feel like crap because I should have been helping her. She told me that afterward she was petrified of him and ended up staying in their small flat like a prisoner, only going out when he told her to. She wouldn't tell me more about what happened, but I guess he didn't stop taking what he wanted. I'm not sure of the exact timeline, as it's still all new for me, but it was definitely a couple of months later that he was taking her to the store for bits and pieces when they got into a car crash. He was killed instantly, but my mom got out with a couple of broken bones. That's when they told her she was pregnant. My mom told me she genuinely didn't know. She went to therapy for a few years afterward, and the guy treating her told her that sometimes the mind refuses to recognize signs like pregnancy to protect itself. Sort of like those teenagers who have babies but don't realize it until they are in labor. My grandparents offered to take me if she wanted, but my mom told me that the minute they told her she knew she was going to keep me. I have to admit I started bawling at that point too. She had a few pictures and things belonging to the guy who was my biological father in a box upstairs and offered to show them to me, but I'm not ready for that. I asked if there were any relatives from his side still out there, but my mom told me that he never knew his parents or even whether he had any siblings. Part of why my grandparents didn't like him was that he was a troubled kid from foster care and never really got any further than that. My parents met when I was barely 1 and got married when I was 2. I never, ever doubted that my dad was my dad. I mean, I knew they got married after I was born, but it never struck me that I might not be directly related to him. My mom said my dad made the decision that, as far as anyone was concerned, he was my father. She had left the father's section blank on my original birth certificate, so my dad had my birth re-registered so it would have his name on it. He says I'm his daughter, so it felt right to make it official. In the end, I'm still all kinds of messed up, but my mom and dad are the best. They really, really are. Final update. Hey, everyone. It's been a while since I last logged into this throwaway, and I just want all those who sent me PMs to know that I really, really appreciated it. I know I didn't get around to messaging everyone, but I did read them all, and I'm really grateful for all the support. My update isn't terribly exciting, other than I'm okay. I still have odd days and stuff where it kind of all hits me at once, but they're becoming fewer and fewer, which is great. I actually started having panic attacks not long after everything came out. I tried not to let on that something was wrong. I had no idea what was happening, to be honest, but my mom knows me like the back of her hand. She dragged me to our family doctor, and he diagnosed it straight away when I told him what was going on. My mom sort of blamed herself because she thought I was too young to be having them, but my dad, yep. He still is that to me, told her that she can't take the problems of everyone else on herself. So instead, Mom has thrown herself into reading up on everything about them and has changed a huge chunk of how we all eat and stuff. And I'm seeing a counselor. Just once a week for the moment, but it helps. Shortly after everything happened, my parents sat me down and asked what I wanted to do regarding my brothers. I told them that I didn't want them to know. At least not yet. I just don't want them to treat me differently. My dad understood, but Mom got a little upset that I thought they would do that. Dad just reminded her that they're still young, 8 and 10, and that sometimes it's better to wait. And some really, really good news: my mom's pregnant again. About 3 months at this stage. I was shocked at first, then really worried. My mom's not young, she's in her late 40s. But so far, it's all going smoothly. She's having to have loads of tests and scans to make sure everything's okay. My dad's thrilled, my brothers, not so much. And I talked to my grandparents. My granddad was really, really upset that I found out. I've never seen him cry before, and he was sobbing when we talked. They never wanted me to know. In fact, they had fights with my mom over it. She had wanted to tell me when I was a little younger but held off because my grandparents were so upset over it. I know some people will say it was none of their business, but I can kind of see why they did it, and so does my mom now. They just wanted me to be as carefree and happy for as long as possible. I was still their granddaughter, but they knew that the minute I found out I'd start doubting their love and my family's. So, after all that, I'm okay. One step at a time, my dad says. Thanks to everyone for all their support. It really means a lot.